Hey, how's it, Cape Flint Stories? How's it, guys? Hope you guys are good. For you guys that like mixed martial art, boxing, fighting, we normally talk about fighting on a Saturday. I've got with me in the studio Coach Fidaah Idris and his team, and we're going to talk about just briefly about the fight we had 2 weeks ago. If you remember, it was Driekus, South African guy that fought very well, represented our people very well overseas, and we had the guy who broke his leg himself. What's his name? Conor McGregor. So we're going to talk about them. And I want you guys to join us. It's going to be nice. Just 30 minutes talk with us. I know there's guys who love mixed MMA, and we want to promote this segment on the space because I believe a lot of our youngsters on the Cape Flats are very talented. So, with further ado, I have fighters in with me. How's it, guys? How's it? How are you guys doing?
Hi there, Uncle Sam. We're doing awesome. Hi there, guys from the Cape Flat Stories. Welcome. We're talking about MMA, we're talking about UFC, we're talking about EC stars. And I am Sensei Fidaah Idris. With me, I have Umsungundi and Riaz Mohammed. And yes, and like Stanley spoke now, 2 weeks ago, we had Driekus du Plessis who fought in the UFC, which is the biggest international MMA tournament. Hi there, Ingrid. Hope you're doing well in the world. And he fought. He was first a two-time EFC champion and dominated. And then he fought in Europe as well. And then now he's in the biggest stage, which is the EFC. He fought his second fight and he won in a very, very good fashion. So do you want to comment on that?
So Driekus fought 7 guys and got a second round. Okay, all right. Put him to sleep. The first round was good. So Driekus opened up more than his last fight. It was kind of overreaching, and the guy was slipping and came out. And that's the thing about Driekus du Plessis is like people think they can control the fight because of how he's demeaning his fight, and then he relaxed. And you saw Driekus du Plessis was against the cage and was covering up, and that guy just put his hands down. And as soon as he relaxed, Driekus du Plessis puts the right down with a jab, and then followed up with a right hand. So that's what he's seen in his past 2 fights. He gets guys to relax. Yeah, he gets the guys to relax. They put their hands down. They think they're in control. The next thing you know, it was a left hook first. Now it's a right hand. So du Plessis with what a price between him is clean. It's a clean out division. I believe so. You know, carrying the size flag and making us proud.
Awesome. If there is any other questions, you can just put it in the comment section. You can ask us questions. And then, of course, the main fight of 2 weeks ago was Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. I believe this was the second fight. Third fight. The third fight, sorry. The third fight. Dustin won once, Conor won once, and then they had to have another fight. They fought very well. They fought very well. But Dustin was dominating the most of it, I would say. Conor was doing well, fighting very good. He was eager on his comeback. He was hungry for his comeback. He was willing to fight, to leave it all out there. And then he's happened to step back, and his ankle or leg broke. So I don't know what happened there. Riaz, what do you think was the cause?
So I think he injured that ankle in the fight. He was throwing a lot of kicks. I watched a video where they said he throws a different kind of kick. He doesn't throw like a Muay Thai style kick. His kicks are very flowy, so it's sort of like a Taekwondo kick. So it's very it's like a whip rather. I think Dustin was blocking a lot of the kicks. He was catching a lot on the elbow, and I think the kick that he threw just before he stepped back towards the end, I think that actually was the final straw. Once he stepped back on it, I think it broke there. I think he injured it in the fight due to blocking, whether it was leg kicks or not. But I think for the most part, I think Poirier has his number. I think every time Poirier catches him,
I would agree now.
Every time Poirier catches him, it's like you can see McGregor's demeanor changes every time Poirier catches him. So yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah, I feel like his wealth and his comfortability got him slightly, whereas other people are more hungrier. Like Poirier is much more hungrier. They're willing to leave it all on the line. They're fighting for their family. They say the wolf climbing the hill is hungrier than the wolf on top of the hill. And I think that is what it shows. And Conor seems like he can't get his fire back because he's got so much money and businesses already and comfortability already. So yeah, I think that's the best of Conor that I've seen. I hope he proves me wrong, but yeah.
You mentioned something there. You guys mentioned something there that I found fascinating. The young man said there, I think it's Riaz, that he threw a different type of kick. I didn't know you. Isn't a kick like when I kick you, it's a kick, or just talk more about that, because I think there's people that want to know what do you mean by different type of kicks.
So different martial arts styles, you have different techniques in which you use. So I think in a Muay Thai style kick, it's equivalent to using a baseball bat. They say the leg is straight, you kick straight through the target. So if you imagine you had a baseball bat and you're hitting through another piece of wood, swing that baseball bat straight through. Versus a different martial arts kick, let's say maybe karate, in which it's more flow, it's more like a whip. So in the same way I throw a punch, solid straight and hit hard at the target, versus throwing more fluently. So whipping your arm, you can throw it faster, but it's not as hard. So I think for the way Conor kicks, it's more like a whip. And I think when you're catching or you're blocking a kick like that, they call it what is it? Checking a kick. When you check a kick, when someone's whipping it, you're likely more to take more damage than the person blocking that kick. Versus if you are a Muay Thai fighter and you're throwing your kick hard, straight leg, you're kicking through the target. Both people, at the end of the day, when your kick is being blocked or checked, both get hurt, but you're less likely to sustain an injury if you're throwing it as a Muay Thai fighter rather than just whipping it, where you're the one that takes most damage at the end of it.
Thank you so much for explaining. So now, Ingrid, you know now. Ingrid says here, Chinese street fighter is really so. So you know, just for interesting sake, because you know you have different type of fighters and different styles of fighting, and I think that we saw when Conor fight, and like you said, just to come back to his mental state, it affected him because. But Conor also, he hasn't been where he used to be. After Khabib, he was never the same again. He became, you know, what happens is they become more arrogant, right? Because I've got money now, I've got a name. But there's always the guy at the bottom that is working so much harder to get to the top. And I think that is what makes his opponent very much, dangerous, because he must work harder. Because if he, like he actually won that fight, right? And when he won that fight, doors open for you. You know, so that's the other thing about it.
Yeah, true. So comfortability, being too comfortable can work against you eventually. Whereas if you think of if you see the lifestyle, Conor's lifestyle, I think he just bought a Ferrari, he got to some Lamborghini. Now after that fight, so I think if you are comfortable and then you're not going to be training every single day, 24/7, 6 days a week in the gym, and keep pushing and keep being so hungry because you really want something you don't have, for example. So I think that is the element, the difference I would say now with the Conor of now with the Conor who used to be hungry, used to have nothing, and then he actually put in 150% in his training, and then the results come out in the fight. So of course that is the major difference now. He has to focus on his money and his business, on where he's going to, on growing, on investing his money, and growing his money. And that takes up actually a lot of time. As a business owner, it takes up a lot of time and effort. And talking about him and him after Khabib, we have Khabib's cousin who fought last week, Islam. He fought extremely well last week. He's the next champ. Khabib is convinced, he's telling everybody and the world on social media everywhere, he's the next lightweight champion. He's coming for the belt. He's winning everybody in his division. I believe he's 7-fight win streak now also. 7-fight win streak in a row. No one can beat him. No one have the answer to beat him as yet. I think he's better stand up than Khabib. Lots of people say better in his stand up. Stand up is crisp, and then he still has a very good wrestling pedigree. He was also trained by Khabib's father, so they have all the faith in him. And then of course last week UFC brought back the return of Nisha Tate. She fought extremely well. She totally dominated, and she finished her opponent. do you want to say anything about last week's UFC? Yes.
The corner one, as you said, it's a different type of kick. I think the taekwondo one is when Conor was kicking with his foot. So like in Muay Thai, they'd say he was kicking with the shin. Conor was kicking with the end of his leg, where the foot is and where the weakest part of the shin is. Because the higher you go up the shin, the stronger it is. The lower you go, the weaker the leg is. So when he was throwing with the end at the end, at the lowest was the lowest part. He's actually damaging himself by doing that. So that's why they say stepping instead of the Muay Thai kick. So like even when someone's throwing a leg kick and they're trying to throw against the thigh, so something called shaking where you pick your leg up and then you make it face the whatever direction the kick is coming. So the point of picking it up like that is if he's throwing against the thigh, he's really throwing it higher. When you pick up your leg and you make it face that direction, you actually kick in the hardest part of the leg, which is the highest part of the shin. So he was throwing with that technique. So that could have also been posed back to the fight. I think Conor was. I think he worked hard. Like he was in shape, right? He was in shape, and you saw like it was when his second fight, it wasn't. It didn't look like he had that dog in, right? Because he said that he worked hard. He got nutritionalists. He got these high end training facility stuff. But, but the thing is, you can give all of that, right? But what the thing that matters most is that is the mental part, which is what he was missing in his last fight. He didn't have that, in the second fight against Poirier, didn't have the dog in him. You saw it as soon as the first came, you saw him, he just gave up and just fell down and got TKO. So you saw him try to bring the dog in him this fight, where even in the press conference, it was more aggressive. When in the walkout, we entered, you saw him screaming at the camera because he's just trying to get that again. Right? And you saw that, and you saw even when he entered the octagon, when Poirier came in, you saw him go against Poirier before the fight even started because people say he was trying to get it Poirier's head. It's actually Poirier was right by saying actually doing it for him so that he can bring out that dog in him that was once there when he was young and hungry. So it goes back to what coach is saying, which is the hunger. So he was trying to bring back that hunger, which is he wanted it for the win. And for the stylistically, I feel like Poirier had the advantage in the hands. Was what made Conor great was his kicks were used to set up the hands, and in this fight he was just throwing the kicks, just to blast them. And you saw Poirier was the one who was controlling the distance because you saw Conor was uncomfortable with the distance. He didn't see any counters from Conor. Poirier was the one that actually countered Conor with a check hook and actually rocked Conor, which is you'd expect Conor to have the power advantage, to have the counter advantage, and that was all in Poirier. So after that fight, it's just hard to see him win because even if he got the dog back in him now, Poirier got that dog and he got the stylistic matchup winning. So I don't know, like he's gonna have to do something new because the whole stuff isn't working because he was supposed to have the counter advantage and the distance management advantage, and he lost both of those. So it's hard to see him winning at this point. With Islam, great fighter. You saw it last week. People say, oh no, he should have gone for it. He was going for it. It's best when you get that fourth round KO because you get to show your skill set. He was controlling the fight throughout. You can't say, oh no, we got a first round KO. What if the fight went on? The fight did go on. And you saw him control it on the feet, control it on the mat. Then Moises tried to take him down. Islam reversed him in, and he's the one that ended up getting the submission. So he outstruck Moises and he outgrappled him. You can say Islam is a more well-rounded fighter than Habib, and Habib is more of a specialist. Like if he gets you to the ground, he uses the hands to make you. He uses the hands to make you open up the grappling, and he takes you down, and he just like puts the pressure on you. Whereas Islam, he mixes it up. If he wants to stand with you, he's gonna strike with you. If he wants to take you down, he's gonna take you down. So he's got a bright future in him. And his the only loss he has was early in the UFC when he got KO'd, and he was winning the fight. It just goes to show that luck is kind of part of it, right? Because hard work, you work hard, and then you get caught in an exchange and then people say, oh no, you didn't work. And it's like, no, he just got caught in exchange. Now, I'm not racist corner, obviously, but I'm just saying in general, like in this game, anything can happen. Anything can happen, and he went to show with Islam, and now you can see with his comeback, he is a great fighter. No one's been able to beat him now, and it's not like he's losing the first round and then he's coming back. No, he's dominating every single round and he's finishing these guys. And Misha Tate, striking looked better than it used to be. You saw her trying to lean to the right side, which is keep her head off center. So instead of keeping staying upright and then moving her head, she was actually prematurely moving her head, which is having a stance of like where you lean kind of to the right side. And so she's using the jab really nice.
She's normally a ground fighter.
Yeah, she's normally a ground fighter. So you saw that she didn't just let her grappling be what she's labeled for. She worked also on a striking. Yeah, she improved the striking.
She had like a 5-year layoff.
Over 5-year layoff. So it goes to
ladies out there, you can still do it.
Exactly. So she's the real hero here because she had 2 kids. Gave birth to 2 kids, 5-year layoff, and still came back and looked better than she used to be. And then she finished it on the ground. She took the girl down off the fence and controlled the girl, and then finished those strikes. So a TKO on the ground.
Nice. Yeah, guys. So we're talking about MMA. Just to bring it back to where we're at now. We are at Fighters Inc. MMA and Ron's Academy, based in Ottery. And MMA is a martial art. MMA is a sport as well. It can teach you discipline. It can teach you respect. It can teach you hard work. It can teach you to never ever give up. To know that you can strive. You can develop. For youth, especially, it can instill within them discipline. Can instill respect. It gives a culture of a martial arts culture where if you put in effort, you get reward. And it's about life being a marathon and not a sprint. Because the more you put time into it over 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you get better and better and better. And with that, you develop character as well. Resilience, patience, tenacity, with that toughness, of course, as well. And you learn self-defense techniques. And then that builds confidence within inside of you. And anybody can do it. Only about 10% of the people in gyms actually fight. And then the others do it for self-defense, for confidence building, relieves of stress as well. So if guys are working on the nerves, you can come punch the bag button. You can come hit the head and take your frustrations out. Or if your boss is working on your nerves, you can come here, hit the bag. We have a lot of clients who does that. And they say this is like the therapy. So this can be a therapy for any life's frustrations or whatever the case might be. Yeah, and there's kids classes from 5 years old already. They can start already. There's ladies only if you don't want to be self-conscious. You don't want to be in a group class mixed with everybody else. Everything is done under COVID safety protocol rules, sanitizing everything, doing the checkups, the temperature checkups, and all those things. So yeah, so MMA is really a sport that can actually change people, communities, bring in healthy habits that we all do really need. Preventive as well. I'm a therapist and life coach. Can prevent a lot of mental problems, mental issues, emotional issues. That's a coping mechanism as well. So yeah, in general, MMA is for everybody. Anybody can do it. There's gyms all over the Western Cape, down in Durbanville, all over. Yeah, so you can check it out. Say you're doing it for fitness and for toning and self-defense, and then just basically have fun with it. And we are talking about how it's implemented on the highest level. It's the fastest growing sport internationally. There is a career path for it. In South Africa, there's amateur championships. There's African MMA organization. Then there's IMAF, International Mixed Martial Arts Federation, where they get to world champs as well, SA champs, and then world champs. And then there's also professional promotions like the UFC, One Championship, Brave, and others as well. So there is a career path for that, or youth would like to take it further, or adults would like to take it further. Yeah, so let's talk about today's UFC tomorrow as well. UFC can be watched on DSTV on channel 201 or 210, depends. You can have a look there. 208 as well. So see what it's about, check it out. There is a lot of good MMA gyms as well. You can go look. You can go and do 3 classes at 1 class, 2 classes free to check it out. Get active, get a bit busy again, get the mind busy with something positive so it can't think about negative stuff. Yeah, so tomorrow we have the UFC. Um, and we have TJ Dillashaw making his return after a long while after the break. And now we're gonna have Umso who's gonna break down the card for us. Yeah, he's gonna break down the card step by step. Let's go.
Let's go say you can come check it out. And if you want to try this gym, you take down this gym in SA, come check us out. We'll train with you.
Promote yourself, no?
I don't, it wasn't planned.
So it's not a really stat code. You see it forms a lot of Afrikaners. They go early for us because usually we have to wake up at like 2 a.m. to watch the code live. At least tomorrow the football starts at 10 p.m.
Nice.
It's on Saturday, so
DSTV 10 p.m. on DSTV tomorrow night.
Yeah. 10 to 10 to 8 to 1. So we can look at Eubanks. Eubanks versus the ladies and up and coming with a record of 4-0. Eubanks is a striker. She just needs to let go of hands more, but she's a great striker with packs a bit of power. So that'll be interesting to see. And the return of Mickey Gall versus Jordan Williams. Mickey Gall was made his name by TKOing CM Punk from WWE. So if anybody know CM Punk,
real fighting.
Yeah, this happened in the UFC. CM Punk decided he wanted to try MMA at the age of 40. So and that's okay. You know, at the age of 38, that's okay. You can try MMA at the age of 38. But then he decided that he doesn't want to put in the work. He doesn't want to start from the small promotions and working his way up. He wants to start in the UFC at the highest level. He wants to make his debut there. So you go humble him, first round TKO. So it just goes to show you have to put in the work, guys. You can't just skip. As coach said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Then we got in the main card, we got Miranda Maverick and Macy Barber. Now Macy Barber's in 2-fight lose streak. She had a nice run after the contender series. She made a name of the contender series, got a UC contract, was finishing goals, looked really nice in the fights. But the problem is then she fought she fought the veteran. The veteran with the glasses. She was the veteran. She actually had an injury in that fight. And then she ended up losing and she blamed the injury. And then now she fought, and then the last fight was against Alexa Grasso. Alexa Grasso pieced up on the field of the boxing, beautiful boxing. If you don't know, if you wanna watch beautiful boxing in MMA, Alexa Grasso got one of the best hands. And definitely the best female hands for sure. She fought Alexa Grasso and was getting pissed up on the field, and then she started getting technical with Alexa Grasso. Now, Macy Barber is the most technical of fighters. She usually wins the fights by overwhelming the girls with her hands. She got fast hands, and she overwhelms the girls. But the problem is she tried to get technical, and she shadowboxed in front of the girl, just shadowboxed. And Alexa Grasso wasn't there to shadowbox. She was there to put some hands on her. So that's how she lost that fight. But she came back in the later rounds where she actually started opening up. I mean, that was style. She opened up, but it was a little too late. And she ended up losing 29-28. And now she's fighting Miranda Maverick. I mean, Dana White is giving a basic Barber no breaks. She's just fighting the toughest girls at 125, because 125 is a weird division. The lower you get, the quality actually goes up. The quality actually goes up. You got Alexa Grasso, and Alexa Grasso, you've got who's the grappler again? The female grappler. She just came off a pregnancy also, and she got two submission finishes in a row. And also got Maverick now. So she's in a weird situation where they think that they're giving her fights to actually build her up and get back on feet. But actually, the lower you get in that division, the harder you get. So I also got Miranda in this fight against Macy Barber, unfortunately. And then you got Darren Elkins, the veteran, the guy that made Joe Rogan cry. I mean, he's the definition of never give up. He was losing. He was losing the first 2 rounds definitively. Like he almost landed no punches, just losing really bad bladder everywhere. And he came back in the third round and finished the guy to get the win. So if you want to see a good fight, if you want to see two guys scrap, we know Darren Elkins gonna bring it. And then Aspen Ladd versus Macy Chiasson in the co-main event. Interesting fight. And then in the main event, the one that everyone is can't wait to see. I've been waiting for this fight since January. And now they had to move it from the May card. May card was one of them called COVID to July. So it's the main event. Corey Hagen versus TJ Dillashaw. Great fight here, guys. Very technical guys. TJ Dillashaw, he's a technical guy, right? But most of his setups come in the moment. So he'll look down and then he'll throw a head kick. So like it's like setups where he just does it in the moment, right? He throw a jab, and then throw 1-2. Unlike Corey Hagen, who's also technical, but he actually builds up his setups. So like he'll throw 50 jabs, and then he'll throw a jab, and then you slip the jab, and then he'll throw a head kick. So his setups are more subtle like that, where you never know when you're comfortable. With TJ Dillashaw with an exchange, you know, if you miss it in that exchange, that he's done with that setup and say something else up in the moment where Corey Hagen he throws a jab, he throws the low kicks. You just never know what's gonna come, and then boom, out of nowhere, a flying knee comes and knocks you out, like he did to Frankie Edgar, where he was moving back, circling around, and Frankie Edgar was just following him, and he thought that he could do that the whole fight, and then boom, out of nowhere, flying knee. And it took 3 minutes just to set up just that one flying knee that won him the fight. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to win, because it's two guys who are very technical in their own ways, and it's going to be interesting to see
whose game
plan works out. Yeah, whose setups actually come to fruition. So the more the round goes, we can expect Corey Hagen to maybe take over. But at the same time, TJ Dillashaw does not get tired. He can go on all day. In the first round, he's throwing 50 punch combination, finishing guys. So it's a very interesting stylistic matchup. I don't know who I got, but if I have to choose, I'm going with my boy Corey Hagen.
Nice. What? No, we TJ Dillashaw over here, and if you have TJ Dillashaw, you should make a comeback. I believe he was sparring with Lomachenko quite recently also.
He was actually sparring in 2017.
2017, so I think that's where he gets some of his style from. His footwork, his movement, his angles, and so on and so forth. So it's very interesting. It's not normal, straightforward fighting. So yeah, so I think we're almost coming to our end. Almost.
Even Corey said actually sparring partners.
Yeah, they trained in the same.
Yeah.
And there was like a year.
Yeah, you know, it was actually about 3 years ago before Corey Hagen even made it to the UFC.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see former sparring partners who know each other's styles and know how each other move, how they evolve. It's going to be interesting to see them actually put it on stage.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, thank you guys for listening. That is our take on UFC that's happening tomorrow night, starting at 10 p.m. on DSTV on 208. I think, yeah. So from my side, we're just going to end off with why did I do martial arts, or what did martial arts do for you, which we will all answer. For me, I think my main reason was I was always sporty. And at that age, when I started at a later stage, when I was about 26, I was always sporty, and then I didn't want to go join a soccer club or a rugby club at that age. And I loved boxing initially, first boxing, and then Muay Thai. So then that's my reason. It's a way that if you are a sporty person, you've done athletics all the years, you've done soccer at school, club level, rugby, and now you want to get to a sport where you can keep fit, you can keep your skill level, and then of course I think martial arts and MMA it's very good. It's excellent for that, because you're always learning something new, and like I said, character is developing. You can be training for 10 years and you still can and will learn something new every single time. So you're growing physically, your skill set wise, mindset wise, spirit-wise, if you would like to say. Alison says she loves boxing. She's trained by us. So yeah, so that is what it does for me. Keep me sporty, keeps me fit, keeps me healthy, keeps my brain healthy, my brain always working, my brain always developing. I'm a sensei, but I'm still a student. I'm learning myself every day myself as well. So I think that is what it does for me. Yes.
It does a lot. So I think for me, it's just like why I got into it. I just enjoy fighting overall. Like, so I grew up obviously in Mitchell's play, and like you almost like they say it's hard for buck or something like that. So you per me, it's my per me, but you always, or people just look at, like, there's always reasons to fight on the street, man. And I think for me, it's just even though I'm a student now, for me, it's just learning that to control yourself, to control your aggression, to be able to decide what you want to do instead of your decisions being based on emotion. And so, being a student now, for me, why I do it, I feel like it keeps my mind healthy. If I don't train, if I don't exercise, I can feel myself. It's almost like I get into a bit of a hole or something like that, where I feel stagnant. I don't feel progressive. And there's a direct correlation between physical activity and brain health. So you exercise your body, your mind, it creates some growth and healthy development in your mind as well. So that's why I do it. And I think as of late, like I've been in practicing now almost, what's it been now? Like over a year now. Like I think the biggest thing for me is, apart from the fighting and all of that, it's just the person that you become. I think just like Coach said, the biggest thing is the character, like who I become through the process, through the hard training, through the hard work. And like yeah, aside from the fighting, that's what I enjoy. I look at myself and I'm like, I like who I'm becoming when I'm doing this. I like the person, or the good qualities, the hard work and the determination, all of those things. I enjoy that, and also I enjoy the just being in control of myself, deciding what I want to do, not letting outside situations affect me or throw me out. So yeah, I enjoy that.
Yeah, and I think just what I remembered now is that also there's a stereotype that fighters is always somebody who's not that educated, who's like whatever, this is like what they want to do for their work, they didn't study, whatever else the case might be. But the reality is a boxer and he's finishing his PhD. And he hails from Mitchell's playing, and he changed his life around when he went into his studies and into his academics. So yeah, so he's also one of our role model that's in the gym. So next up we have Umso, who's going to say what did martial arts do for him and why martial arts.
At first was just so I can defend myself. Situation, something's not but then with what kept me going for sure is all behind it. I just was like, and for someone who doesn't know what's going on in the sport, like who just watches it for fun, they just see two people trying to hurt each other, two punches flying. When you know the art behind it, you see more than that. So that's what makes it so interesting for me and why I love it so much, because you can always there's always something to learn. It never stays the same. Coach might come up with a new move next week, and now I have so like you can never stay stagnant. There's always something that you can learn from it. So that's why I love it. And also as Riyazi, I also feel like the same way. Like when I'm not training, like my mind is not right, the confidence not there, the weight is up also. So there's also the weight also. The confidence is not there. Like I don't know, your mind just sort of like you have like low self-esteem. Your body doesn't feel right when you train. Even though you sometimes when you train hard and you push hard, your body feels a bit sore, but it's like a good kind of pain where you feel confident. You feel like, oh, I work so hard, and you just want to do it over and over again. So it's like a drug. So guys,
Good drug.
it's a good drug, yeah. Yeah, so it's better than Turk.
I wouldn't know.
So Alison, you say you love boxing. See you tomorrow. You get tomorrow's boxing class from 11 to 12. From 11 to 12, right? 11 to 12. So if you love boxing as much as you say you do, we challenge you. See you boxing in the boxing class tomorrow. And guys, if you want to train with us, we'd like to train with you. This is in Cape Town, jeez. I'm telling you.
Like,
If it wasn't, I wouldn't be here.
like
Thank you, guys. God bless you. We just hope everybody keeps well. I know it's under lockdown. I know the economy isn't doing well. But I believe it's your responsibility to do whatever can be for your own well-being, especially spiritual well-being. Speak to God, mental well-being, emotional well-being, and physical well-being. Do whatever you can do. Right? A lot of people fixate on things which they can't do or they can't control. But if you look at your locus of control, your locus of power, and then work from that center and work from the inside out. What can I do? And then take it step by step. So I'd like to end with that. Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Stanley, and thank you guys on the Cape Flat Stories. Much respect, appreciate it. Thanks for tuning
Gentlemen,
in.
thank you so much for sharing your story and some information. So if people want to join you guys, they can find you on Facebook, Fighters Inc. Academy,
Yes,
and
yes,
then
we're in Ottery.
yeah,
We're in Ottery.
okay,
First session is on us. We have ladies self-defense class as well, kids bulletproof classes. They can do a session on us. When they come here, they can call, WhatsApp me on the work number 082 795 6170. 082 795 6170. I'll leave it on the live comments as well. And then, of course, if they would like, whichever area they love, they can ask me if there is an MMA gym in that area, all around South Africa, even the Western Cape. I'll give the numbers of a gym that is close to them. Cool.
okay, brilliant. I wanted to join this, but I was sick. Do you take people at almost for
Yeah.
free?
Yes, any ages, there's no limits.
Yeah, okay.
You
You
push
can
as
explain
hard
a
as
little
you
bit.
can, and you can. Yeah.
I think Fidaah, just to end up, I think that if MMA was in Cape Town years ago, like I mean, MMA just came up the last few years, but if it
Yeah.
was many years ago, I think many people would have wanted to know about it because now people don't talk about MMA is here in Cape Town in South Africa, but we
Yeah.
don't talk about it anymore. So I think I might join a class. I'm actually thinking of it.
Yes.
This
You can make
still
it
a
a live
16-year-old
training.
me.
A live training. It might be a comedy. A comedy show.
So yeah, so I might join you guys, and I think you know what? Let's bring a few guys. I'm gonna bring a few guys around to the gym,
Yeah.
and we're gonna a few old buddies, and then you guys can maybe teach us, and then we can have like a live session.
And then they can speak about the experience. Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll
yeah,
be fun.
yeah, yeah. Like look back in the day, I was quiet. I could fight, but Zarak was old man. Stara,
Yeah, which is why.
But thank you so much, guys. Much appreciated. And may the best guy win tomorrow in the fight, and we will cover it obviously next week.
Yes, yes, no problem, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you next week, same time, same place. God bless.
Cheers, cheers, guys.
Cheers, man.